Okay, everybody, time for me to do a video that is going to be somewhat controversial. Uh, I'm giving my opinion on Kentanji Brown Jackson. Now, first of all, I have one complaint. I have one really big complaint. Why in the world does the left always harp on her maiden name? Her name is Jackson now. She married a guy. She's got kids and I think maybe grandkids. Why in the world are they still mentioning her maiden name, which is Brown? She's a Jackson now. Respect the marriage, bigots. Jesus H. Christ. That's always annoyed me about the left. That has annoyed me to no end. Now I can understand Jada Pinkett Smith. I mean, she's Jada Pinkett. Okay, look, they got to go through all of that crap for her sake. But they just, to me, the rest of it is just silliness. You know, like, what do you get out of reminding everybody what her maiden name used to be? What do you get out of it? Does that make her a stronger woman? No, it doesn't. Does it fight against patriarchy? Not really. It's just silliness. I mean, none of the female relatives in my family who are married still use their maiden name. I don't understand this. This is ridiculous. Once you get married, you change your name to your husband's name, and we move on with our lives. You're not less of a person because you're not using your maiden name anymore. But enough on that. Enough on that. The big controversy with this woman is that she's a diversity hire to the Supreme Court because Biden said, "Oh, look, I'm going to put a black woman on the Supreme Court." Yay! Is she capable? Questionable. That's questionable. But she's there now. You're just going to have to get used to it. The other thing that some on the right complained about, and this is where we get into the controversy, is, oh, look at the rulings and sentencing she gave out for guys who had child porn. Yeah. Okay, it's not like she's going to be in the Supreme Court doing that. So, man, she did that. You may not have liked it. Moving on. I mean, it's kind of a weak argument that the conservative right made. Very weak. Because even the left couldn't defend her because they were looking at it like, yeah, that's... I mean, what could they say other than she's, black women, you're racist and misogynist. Whoop-de-doo. But here's what I'm going to say. And like I said, this might get people pissed off a little bit, but I'm going to say this much and be honest. I'm being honest with everyone. I don't see really the controversy in her rulings and sentencing. I can see why she did things. Now, first off, with all the guys that she put away, several of them were black and they were considered to be young. Like, one guy was 17 and the other guy was like in his 20s and maybe another one in his 30s. So we could say she had some racism involved with that. But as I looked into some of this, because I was going to make a video about her and I researched some things, I realized why she did what she did. Think about this for a moment. You're going to put a guy on the sex offender registry, most likely for the rest of his life. He's going to be paying supervision fees for the rest of his life, I guess. And you're going to put him in jail for anywhere between 5 to 15 years, sometimes more, for looking at pictures. That's it. That's it. For looking at pictures. Not because he killed someone, not because he raped someone, not because he raped a child, not because he touched a child, not because he was making child porn or videotaping child porn for somebody else who was making it. No. They are literally giving a person anywhere between 5 to 30 years, depending on the amount of child porn or sexual abuse pictures that he had on his computer in his possession. That doesn't make any sense. For looking at pictures, just looking at pictures, you're going to give a guy 5 to 50 years. That doesn't make any sense. The whole law doesn't really make any sense. I understand we've decided that we are going to prosecute people for possession of child porn. I'm fine with that. But to me, that the prosecution of it to the point where you're ruining a guy's life for 5 to 10 years, and then after he gets out of jail, he's ruined because of reputation and having to register as a sex offender. How does that make any sense? Anybody looking at that would say, well, wait a minute now. That doesn't work. I can see where Kentanji Jackson was coming from. She looked at that after a bit and was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why are we putting them away all of this time? For one, the taxpayer's going to have to pay to keep this guy in there for 15 plus years. If he manages to make it out alive, he's going to be so scarred, traumatized, and out of sorts that he'll probably just go on disability and spend the rest of his life sitting on disability, pulling more money out of the taxpayer's pocket. So what did we achieve by putting this guy in jail for 5 or 10 years, or 15 years, or 20 years for possession of child porn? Nothing. We didn't get anything. We as a society got absolutely nothing out of it. Generally, when you punish someone for committing a crime, they have committed a crime that has directly harmed society. So this is why we are putting you in jail. You rob a bank, you have harmed the community that you're in by robbing that bank. You murder somebody, you rape somebody, yeah, you need to go to jail. You make child porn, yeah, you need to go to jail because you've harmed a child. So that I can understand. That I can sit down and say, okay, yeah, this guy needs to go to jail. But you're just looking at it? And now the reasoning a lot of people give is, well, it's re-victimizing the child or re-victimizing the victim. How? What, is there a geotag on the damn picture where every time you look at it or somebody else looks at it or whatever, it's downloaded somewhere, the victim gets a message on their phone or in the email? Somebody just looked at pictures of you butt naked from when you were 5 years old and got butt raped. I doubt that's happening. I seriously effing doubt that's happening. Re-victimization it's the leftist equivalent of microaggressions. It's bullshit, okay? Nobody's being re-victimized. That doesn't make any sense. That's like saying every time I watch World War II footage, some poor German guy's getting having PTSD all over again. Every time I watch footage of nuclear bomb testing, the Japanese have fits. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Okay, that's not true. It's just not true. This re-victimization, that's why we have to go after these guys even harder. Bullshit. You're making money off of this, or you're making votes. Because if you're in a state or a county or community where you're a chief police officer, like your sheriff or your chief of police, your solicitors, your DAs, assistant DAs, judges, all of them have to be elected in, then they have to play the politics game where they stand up there on a stage and say, oh, last year we put away 29 sex offenders for a total of 350 years of prison time. Yeah, okay, so let's look at these 29. Okay, 5 of these guys actually raped or molested a child. So yeah, they got 50 to 100 years. The rest of these guys, they were just looking at kiddie porn and got caught. So collectively, you gave them the rest of the 300 years. And that was also, you can get reelected. Oh, he's tough on crime. What crime? Child molesters? Yeah. Child rapists? Yeah. But the rest of the guys, you're just trying to make bank to get yourself votes. You don't really care whether this guy committed a crime or not. The law doesn't make any sense, and you know it, but you know it gets you elected. It gets you reelected every time. Every time you show your sex offender conviction stats, everybody goes ape shit. Yeah. Look at what he did. Yeah. Bullshit. Ah, there we go. Nice camera. Thank you. I'm looking at this from a logical standpoint, not an emotional one now. For one, like I said, Kentanji Brown is not going to be deciding these cases or handing out sentencing anymore. And most likely she's not going to do anything to undo the sex offender laws across the nation. So I wouldn't worry about things like that anymore. In fact, putting her in the Supreme Court is now probably the best goddamn thing for all of these poor guys out there, you know. You know, if we really want to start putting sex offenders away, put Kentanji Brown Jackson on the Supreme Court. That way she's not making any more decisions and giving guys lesser time. I guess what I'm saying is I don't necessarily agree with the way the laws are being handled right now, because it's not being handled on the premise of saving victims or getting justice for victims. Instead, it's predicated on emotion and getting votes for people and money. I mean, look at it this way. You have the FBI and some local law enforcement divisions literally creating honeypots online where they put child porn online themselves. And anyone who happens to stumble upon it or look upon this website and download it, we've caught one, let's go to jail. Wait a minute, you guys set up the honeypot. This is extortion, basically, in some form or fashion, or extortion, whatever it is. They're setting up a website. They're putting the child porn on the internet, spreading it around so that they can catch more people who just want to look at it. How the fuck does that make any sense? If re-victimization is real, then the FBI and local law enforcement are re-victimizing children all fucking day just so they can justify their fucking existence. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it doesn't make any sense. And I think that's why Kentanji Jackson did what she did, because she looked at it and was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? We're setting up people to get arrested for a non-crime, a victimless crime at best, like smoking weed, and then we want to put them in jail for 20 or 30 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, and put them on the sex offender registry. Most of them aren't really dangerous. Why are we doing this? Why? I mean, how much money do we spend a year setting up honeypots to catch people looking at child porn? That doesn't make any sense. We're spending probably millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, to do that. So then we turn and spend billions more putting all these guys in jail. Then we spend billions more keeping them in jail for years. Then we spend billions and billions more after they get out of jail and their lives are fucked up and they have to go on the welfare system. Who's being fucking saved here? I'm sorry, I don't see this. I mean, I'm thinking about all this as it's going through my head as I'm doing this and I'm like, how the fuck did we fuck this shit up this damn bad? We fucked it up so damn bad that we have some diversity hire about to sit on the Supreme Court, and the only complaint we got is that she saw the bullshit and kind of said, nah, this ain't right. But she went ahead and put him in jail anyway. So, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know anyway. She saw it's wrong, she knows it's wrong, but she's still gonna put him in jail for an extended period of time. Damn. I guess she's not much help anyway. The system is still the system, guys. The system is still the system. You can complain and see what's wrong, but you're still gonna do what they tell you to do. Oh well. I guess this is kind of a moot point of a video then, but I agree. I will say I agree with what the Justice Jackson did at that point, because she saw the bullshit and everybody else sees the bullshit. So I guess the system needs to change a little bit. We need to think this through a little bit better, because how much money are we spending putting these guys away for looking at 5 or 10 pictures of kids? It doesn't make any sense. It really just doesn't. So, well, that's it. That's my controversial video for the day. Oy vey. Sweating profusely. All right, everybody. Take care. Like, rate, subscribe, comment. I want to hear what you have to say about what I just said. Comment on it, and even if you hate my guts, that's fine. That's fine. You hate my guts. That's fine. I don't mind. Everybody take care and have a blessed day.